Another black man killed by a police officer, this time in North Carolina, leads to violent protests in Charlotte overnight, and has everyone from the presidential candidates to the Obama administration weighing in.
Now, these tragic incidents, particularly coming so close together, have once again left Americans with feelings of sorrow, with feelings of anger, and with feelings of uncertainty. And they've once again highlighted in the most vivid and painful terms the very real divisions that still persist in this nation between law enforcement and communities of color.
While divisions remain, police in Charlotte are adamant that the Tuesday shooting by a black police officer was justified. Correspondent Jonathan Serra has the story from Charlotte tonight.
Police and demonstrators have very different versions of the fatal confrontation that sparked a long night of sometimes violent protests. Police officers say they were serving a warrant at an apartment complex when they noticed a man unrelated to their case, 43-year-old Keith Lamont Scott.
Mr. Scott exited his vehicle armed with a handgun as the officers continued to yell at him to drop it. He stepped out, posing a threat to the officers, and Officer Brentley Vinson subsequently fired his weapon, striking the subject.
The Charlotte police chief said his officers gave Scott multiple clear instructions to drop the weapon, and police investigators say they found a gun at the scene. But some family and friends insist Scott was unarmed and simply reading a book, waiting in his car for his son to come home from school.
We're done let y'all kill us like we just pawns on y'all chess game. Like we don't have lives out here, like our lives don't matter. Yes, all lives matter, but only black people are being targeted.
But Chief Putney called for calm while taking issue with the version of events that a woman claiming to be Scott's daughter posted on Facebook.
It's time to change the narrative, because I can tell you from the facts that the story is a little bit different as to how it's been portrayed so far, especially through social media.
Protest organizers say the shooting fits a pattern of police targeting African Americans, even though the officer named in the Charlotte shooting is also black.
And it don't matter whether black or white, he was in blue.
Overnight protests started out peacefully, but soon escalated, with some protesters attempting to break into this Walmart, temporarily shutting down Interstate 85 and inflicting injuries on more than a dozen police officers.
We understand that there may be continuing protests this evening, and I want to emphasize that I have spoken with many community and faith leaders already, and we are calling for peace, we are calling for calm, we are calling for dialogue.
And protest organizers are also calling on demonstrators to remain peaceful. They plan to hold a rally in about an hour from now here in Marshall Park, which is near the local police headquarters. Brett?
Jonathan Zeri live in Charlotte. Jonathan, thank you.